Hey guys, Blue Falcon here. I apologize for kind of taking a leave of absence from my channel. I had some things kind of pop up and I had to focus or put my focus somewhere else. But I haven't forgotten about the channel, and I know you guys, wondering why I haven't put out new content. But basically this video is if you guys look through my channel, you'll find a project gun that I was doing. It was a P365XL. And you know what, before we get started, let's go ahead and clear our firearms here. Hellcat, nothing in the mag well, nothing in the chamber, clear. Okay. Nothing in the mag well, nothing in the chamber, we're clear. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. So this is more of an update on my project gun, the 6 Sauer. This is the P365XL. The only thing that I've changed out per se that I had on in the last video would be the trigger. The trigger was a Armory Craft red trigger. And I didn't like it because the trigger would break, because with a flat face trigger, they're supposed to snap off at the 90-degree angle. That one would actually go further back, further than the 90-degree angle. So decided to change that back to the original. This is the original OEM trigger that came with the 6 Sauer P365XL. Since then, I have added the Streamlight TLR 7 sub, and this particular light is actually designed for the 6 Sauer P365 lineup. So it doesn't matter what P365 you have, this will fit on it. So I decided to go with something that was a little more dedicated to the firearm, and as you can tell, it's extremely bright. This right here is the T-Comp. This was about 90 bucks, I think. The TLR, the Streamlight TLR 7 sub, this was 130 bucks on Amazon. And it's not a rechargeable. That's kind of a downside, if you ask me. But yeah, 130 bucks, T-Comp, about 100 bucks. Just go ahead and round it up. What I have is a True Precision barrel, and it's a threaded barrel, clearly, but the barrel was $200. All right, you're gonna spend a pretty penny on these True Precisions. This is a 6 Sauer Romeo 06 MOA. This one was about 140 bucks off Amazon. I got both of these off of Amazon. I got this off of, I forget exactly who manufactures these, but I didn't get this on Amazon. I got this off of Optics Planet. And I got the Armory Craft trigger. Let me see if I can go get it real quick. 1 second, guys. Yeah, so this is the trigger that I had. I got that off of Armory Craft's website, I believe. I'm not saying it's a crap trigger. I mean, this was $90, okay? This little piece right here, this red piece. So, I mean, if you ask me, 6 Sauer with these particular firearms, the 365 lineup, they do a pretty damn good job with it when it comes to their triggers. I believe they try to keep this trigger as light as possible. I did end up putting M Carbos springs in there, and having the internals polished by a gunsmith. If you guys know what you're doing, then hey, polish your parts, in the you and all that other stuff. But if you don't know what you're doing, take it to a gunsmith. I highly advise it. You know, I think I spent 60 bucks having all of that stuff, you know, polished up and trying to lighten up the trigger pull. I believe it's at like 4.2 right now, which is pretty good. I like it. And it still fires. You know, it's about as light as you can get, because if you notice, when I charge the weapon, I mean, you get a really, really soft click in there. And believe it or not, it still fires. Fires every time. But it's about as soft as you can get that. So that trigger is about as light as it'll go without it failing to fire. And if you'll notice, I have my my Springfield Hellcat, kind of the equal when it comes to the P365 lineup. Or it's the competition, I should say. Springfield's competition. And you know, this is a great firearm, don't get me wrong. I like this firearm. The dot and everything. I love the hex. The hex RMR, because that's like I mean, it's got, I believe it says 65,000 hours of runtime. And this sight never turns off. There are no adjustments, you know, other than like, you know, adjusting the dot in there to get your 0. There are no adjustments to like turn the light off or on or anything. It just stays on and it'll last for, you know, 65,000 hours, which is pretty amazing if you ask me. This one right here, the 6-hour Romeo. What I do like about it, and I don't understand why they just didn't do what a lot of these RMRs or these guys that make RMRs do. Like, these guys craft everything out of, you know, metal, aluminum, whatever you want to call it. The 6-hour Romeo, and I was kind of torn at first on whether or not it comes with a shroud, a metal shroud, and the actual the sight though is plastic. So I mean, you know, I was torn about putting that shroud on, and I was like, you know what, if I drop the pistol and I accidentally shatter my Romeo because I didn't have this, you know, and God forbid, none of us ever want to drop our firearms ever. If you've ever served in the military, that was beaten to your head, literally. So, you know, you don't ever want to drop your firearm. And I know it makes this thing look really large. And it kind of takes away from the profile that I was hoping to get from the 6-hour Romeo. But I do believe it's worth, if you guys install your Romeos, make sure you put that shroud on there. I promise you, like, if you ever bump it on something, you know, you don't necessarily have to drop it in order to, you know, potentially break this sight, you know, especially with it being plastic. So make sure you keep the shroud on there. That's just going to be my advice to you guys. You know, I can't stress that enough. But what I do like about this pistol versus the Hellcat, and I do, if you're asking me which one do I mean, the $1 million question, I guess, would be, I like the 365 over the Springfield Hellcat. And there's a reason for that. And mainly it's because of the handle. The handle, for one, is like the ergo for my hand is just perfect. This gun, this pistol is amazing in my hands. Just feels great. Not only that, but the way this one comes more straight up and down versus this one, it's more angled out. If you ever hold this gun, you may not be able to tell it from looking at the video, but if you ever hold this gun, you'll notice that it does have a more of an angle, where you got to kind of twist or kink your wrist a little bit more to get that sight picture. Versus this is more of a straight up and down, so your hand is going to be more like a hammer fist, just like that. Instead of like this, it's going to be more like this. So when I bring it up, that dot just falls into that sight picture, that little lens right there. I don't have to, I'm not stuck trying to find my dot. It literally just comes up and it's perfect every single time. All I've done is bore sight this. I literally got this sight today, and I'm extremely impressed with the way it works, and the way it just coincides with this P365. So like, I mean, this is it really blew me out the water, because I was torn about getting this red dot, especially after this one. And I'm not saying that because, you know, to some of us out there, they would say the Springfield Hellcat is way better than the 365, and that this is just the standard. And really, it is one of the, you know, if I had to tell you, you know, what 3 firearms are the best on your hip, you know, inside the waistband, or to me, honestly, outside the waistband, this could double. Both of these pistols could definitely double on the outside. And I would tell you, the Glock 43X, or the 43, you know, the 43 is a good gun, but I would still go with the 43X, just because it would compare more to these guys. The Springfield Hellcat or the 6 Hour P365. If you ask me, this is the standard. There's no other way about it. If you're a larger guy, I would go with the XL. If you're a smaller guy, you know, just go with the regular P365X or just the regular P365. The SAS is a pretty good viable option. If you're anywhere, how should I say, you know, versed with the what is it, the Mepro Light Bullseye. It's basically, there is no front sight. It's just one sight on the rear, and it doubles as both the rear and the front. And it's pretty nifty concept the way they got it. Really nice sight. I believe it does lack in the dark. I know it, you know, it's got the tritium plus the fiber optic that helps that, all of that. But I mean, if you try and shoot that in the dark, you're gonna have a really hard time finding your sight. And the regulars, 365s or the XL, they come with the X-rays. So it's a little bit easier to find that sight. They glow. If you do get the Romeo, you're gonna lose your rear X-ray. However, it does have a, you know, somewhat of a rear notch right there. I can't really, it would be nice if they would have painted that white, just to kind of give you a little bit better reference. But there is 2 little blade sights, as you can tell, right there. And you can line it up with your front. So, I mean, it's you know, if all else fails and you had to have something that will give you your general direction of where your round's going anyways. Hopefully you never have to go to that. But if you do, you got it. Like I said, I haven't fired this firearm yet. It's got the extended mags. I'm actually looking for a holster, an outside the waistband holster, not necessarily one that fits in the waistband. I was kind of looking for more of a thigh rig. If you guys know of any holsters, anybody that makes a holster that will fit the TLR7 sub Streamlight, please drop the link in you know, a comment. You know, I would love to know it. That way I can buy me one, because this is like one of my go-to guns. And there for a while, I'm not gonna lie to you, I bought the True Precision, and I bought the T-Comp, and I had the slide Cerakoted. I had a local buddy of mine, he Cerakoted it, and did a pretty good job. I believe it cost me $90. But at first, you know, there for a while, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sell this gun. And I'm so glad I didn't. You know, I was sitting there, I was looking at it, and I was on the verge of listing it on the internet, you know, on Gunbroker or something, see what if I could get anything for it. And man, I was sitting there holding it, and I was like, man, this is an awesome gun. I'd be crazy to let this go. And I decided I was gonna pick it back up and try and finish the project, which I'm pretty much done with any kind of mods or anything like that, you know, especially on the inside. And really, I think I've done just about all I can on the outside. So, you know, you guys got any suggestions for this pistol, let me know. Again, this is the P365XL from 6 Hour, and they don't come with this this stainless steel brush steel slide coloring. That's actually a Cerakote that I had done. Again, this is a T-Comp, so if you're looking for trying to figure out what this is. T-Comp Streamlight TLR7 sub, and it's actually designed for the 6-hour 365 lineup. It might fit on some of their other guns, but from what I've read, it was really specifically designed for the 365. But yeah, pretty much, and then obviously the Romeo is from SIG too. Really nice sight. Really impressed with the way this weapon works with this sight. I can't wait to shoot it. When I do shoot it, I am gonna get some video. I'm gonna get some video of this one as well. And I'm not bashing the Hellcat, okay? Don't get me wrong. This is a slick pistol. It's great on my hip. I still carry this gun, even though I've got, you know, this gun is significantly heavier since I've put all this stuff on there. So it's not necessarily viable for carry anymore, especially with that big old T-Comp on the front. And this gun's just a little bit smaller in profile, so I won't print as much with this firearm. But like I said, I'm not hating on this gun. It's got excellent, you know, irons and whatnot, and I can't wait to really compare the two just to see how each one does. And again, I'm just gonna say this: it was easier for me to find. It's easier for me to find this red dot. Like when I go from my hip, simulated draw from my holster, because I don't have a holster for this yet that'll fit this. But simulated draw to point of aim, the red dot shows up. I mean, just it falls in there perfectly. So it's not like I'm stuck trying to find it. This one took me a little bit of training and a lot of practice to kind of get that niche to where I could just get that sight to fall in there. At first, I started using my irons as a reference to kind of get that dot in that window. But here, you know, I've gotten pretty good at it. I'm not just perfect at it. And, you know, I really need to be perfect at it if I'm going to use this firearm, because when it comes to a gunfight, not that I ever want to be in a gunfight, not that I'm looking for a gunfight, but if I ever find myself in a gunfight, you know, you want to be extremely proficient because split seconds count. But anyways, that's just my take. Like I said, this is my project gun. I believe I'm pretty much finished with it. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comments. And again, this is the 6 MOA. They've got the 3 MOA up there. It's a little bit more expensive. I believe it's like 10 or 20 bucks more. Can't remember. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, I apologize for the long absence of my presence here on YouTube. I know you guys were just missing the hell out of me. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next gun review. Blue Falcon out.